I am Michael Trevino.
Excellent. So what's going on coming up next season with Tyler?
Next season?
Next season?
Oh God, I wish I knew. Next season, well, hopefully Tyler's still alive and well, first of all. And if he is, I hope he comes back a little different, because he's been gone, and I'd like to know what he's been up to and where he's been and who he's been hanging out with, and just what he's been doing.
Excellent. Very good. Very good. Very good. Anything else?
I was going to ask the same sort of thing, if you knew what he's been up to since he's left town.
I don't. I've thought about it and came, up to my own conclusions, I guess. But it's really up to Kevin and Julie, But I think there's going to be some kind of change in him. I think, has he been gone at like werewolf camp with all the other werewolves, like learning and training, like if he was, doing hand-to-hand combat and all kinds of stuff, I think that would be awesome, right?
Yeah.
But he has to change a little bit. I wonder what he has been up to. I hope that's explained. I hope he just doesn't show up and that everything's back to normal. There's something has to be explained.
Do you want him to sort of be a kick-ass werewolf guy? He's been sort of.
I think he has to. No, I think he has to come back as like a badass, but a very like subtle, keeps it in, not picking on anybody because he knows what he's capable of. So.
No, I think with the whole werewolf vampire thing, fans want to see a werewolf on the vampires team, and you seem like their best bet. Do you think that Tyler would be best staying with wolves, or should he cross over and team up with all the vampires in his friends?
Why not both? I think he should stay with the Wolfpack, and stay loyal to them, but also, they can coexist, with Stefan and Damon and Caroline. I think they can coexist and be friends on a mutual level within Mystic Falls. And I think that might have to happen, because if you ask me, I don't know. But I would say there's other evil people coming, like Klaus and everybody, who are much more powerful and not on the same side as like Damon or Stefan and Catherine. So it's like, I might be on their side against them, but not with the vampires. I'm always going to be with the wolves. That's what I hope.
Conflict.
Yes, conflict. Drama.
So talking about the vampires, werewolves, like, what do you think it is that sort of makes this sort of popular culture zeitgeist sort of popular 10 years ago? There's vampires are everywhere right now.
Right. Well, you have to give it to Twilight for this, like, just history repeating itself. Because there was, Buffy the Vampire Slayer and then Angel and all that, and those are very successful. But I think it's just this new generation of kids who, if they were around with Buffy, they'd be diehard fans on those kind of shows. And so it's just history, repeating itself. And then it's even bigger now, I think, is then you have True Blood, and then you have our show, and now you have this Being Human, I believe, that's doing pretty well. That's also like a supernatural show that has, werewolves and such. So it's just, history repeating itself, and everything's still successful.
It's just this popular culture cycle.
Culture.
So did you know about the books for the Vampire Diaries going into it, or how did you find out about the show?
I was, given the project and had a meeting with Kevin and Julie, and initially I was thinking, Vampire Diaries, great, another vampire show, like, awesome. But, I was just honest with myself, and anything having to do with vampires right now is probably going to be successful. And then when I found out it was Kevin Williamson, who has a pretty amazing track record, I'm like, how can you not want to be a part of it?
Cool. Dawson with fangs, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's very, very cool.
Were you happy you became a werewolf and not a vampire?
Yes.
Not a vampire?
Yes.
Oh.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. The show is filled with vampires now. At this point, there's only, Jules and Tyler, who are werewolves. And it's like I feel like kind of like the head werewolf, and I'm not mad at that. I feel if I was a vampire, I'd still have to be like right under Damon and Stefan. So
gives you kind of a longer leash for life, too, doesn't it?
I'm hoping. I'm hoping. Where's Julie?
Yeah, right.
They just told us that the shoots for the season are going for like 10 months out of the year. That just sounds
it's a long,
brutal.
It is, and there's, not as many as season 1, but the night shoots are bad. Like, I got picked up at 8 a.m. this morning in Atlanta. I wrapped at 4 a.m. last night.
Oh my God.
So it's
So you guys were filming yesterday?
So Tyler's done.
Sorry. It was a dream. It was a flashback. It was something. That's our film experience last year, actually. Same kind of thing happened.
Good time a lot.
Yeah. So I mean, like, obviously, the night stuff especially is real. I mean, how do you find time to, like, live with that going on? That's just nuts.
Me personally, like I actually like the night shoots. Not really a morning person, but it's pretty grueling because we'll go all week and it'll be like we go in at like 6 p.m., 8 a.m. or 6 p.m., 8 p.m. and we'll last till the sun comes up.
Right.
So it's it's pretty bad.
So what's your reaction to all the sort of the fandom for the show? People that really follow it really close, like you've got.
Well, where I get a lot of it is, because I'm on Twitter and people will just keep tweeting you, especially when the show airs. Like the night the show airs, it's just like scrolling down, but you get all their opinions and how they feel about certain things, especially with like blogs and message boards, especially with pop culture and everybody is online nowadays saying what they want. So it's nice to get that instant feedback.
Really, it's like you take all the positive and the negative off the people.
Well, both.
Very cool. So how do you kind of balance that out? Like, because I know a lot of people try to stay away from that completely. They don't want to be influenced by it too much. I mean, how do you kind of balance that out?
I don't get in my head too much about it. Like, I enjoy seeing their opinions, whether they don't like something Tyler did or they do like something. And then also, even with all the other characters, like how they, if they like which storylines they like, which storylines they aren't really following. I enjoy it. Some of our cast doesn't, but
Did the change shape?
The change? No. Well, no. The wrists were fine though. On my knees, because the clips would they pinch your hair, and then when I try to rip it off, it'd be like just like if you had duct tape right here, and just ripping it off every time. But the transformation was rough. It was rough, physically and mentally.
So what was that like? What's it like shooting the whole transformation sequence?
It was shot over 2 days, 2 14-hour days. We rehearsed the day, we rehearsed on a Monday, and then we shot Tuesday, Wednesday with Marco Siega, who was our supervising director, who's an awesome director. Had a closed set, but it was rough. I don't think I've ever, on television, been as challenged as an actor. And it was fun, but very exhausting. It was like running a marathon because you didn't want to give too much emotionally and then kind of run out of gas. Sure. So it was a lot about timing, but I grew a lot after that. I think as an actor, I enjoyed it.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Is that kind of thing heavily choreographed? Or did they just have you flail back?
It's as far as the blocking, live in this space because you're lit in this area and the camera's here, so stay in this area, but do whatever you want. As far as all the painful movements and everything, the CGI stuff got very technical. So on those, it's like there was very close-ups on hands, but you're doing it take after take after take again and again and again, and it wears you out.
Last couple questions, please.
It was fun though.
So, do you like the special effects stuff? The CG?
Oh no, I was very happy with it. I was actually
cool.
surprised. It turned out very well. What really got me was the sound of it. When I finally saw the final edit, and watched it, the episode that aired, the sound was just really good. The bones cracking and everything. It gave it a lot.
What's the mood like on the set? Like, can't just be saying everyone's very close. Do you guys have a lot of fun, or is it pretty serious, or does it just depend?
No. We have a lot of fun. We are a family, and we're really close because I don't think we would be as close if we were in Los Angeles or New York, because none of us are from Atlanta. We're all there, and we all moved there. We did become a family, and it keeps us closer and grounded. But everybody genuinely does get along. We all love each other. There's never any drama on the set. I mean, it's season 2, come season 5, who knows? But right now we're good, so we're trying to keep it this way.
Awesome. Cool, thank you, sir.
All right. Thanks, guys.